As the Earth revolves around the Sun, the tilt of the Earth's axis at an angle to the plane of the ecliptic produces a cycle of weather seasons. As markers of the passing of time, the heavenly bodies serve as indicators of seasons. G1. 14 Genesis 8:22 says that the Earth's seasons will never cease. For a correlation of the months of the Jewish and Gregorian calendars and the festival, weather, and agricultural seasons, see calendar. Closely connected with the agricultural seasons were the annual festival seasons, when the festivals established by the Mosaic Law were celebrated. 1 Ch 23. 31. 2 Ch 31. 3 Hence, when Paul counseled some Jewish Christians who were scrupulously observing days and months and seasons, he meant the festival seasons that were a part of the Lord, not simply weather or agricultural seasons. 4. 10. Season can therefore refer to a fixed or an appointed time or a period possessed of certain characteristics. Act 3. 19, FTN. Row 8. 18. G 6. 9 In time what constituted healthful teaching and proper conduct were made very clear to Christians. Accordingly, it was the season to be awake. Row 13. 11-14 The times or seasons, or periods when Jehovah's will in certain matters would take place, were of real interest to his worshippers. Act 1. 7, who understood them as they were progressively revealed. 1 Th 5. 1. In regard to the dwelling of nations on the earth, God decreed the appointed times. Act 17. 26. Fixed the epochs of their history, any in that he determined when certain changes should occur, such as when the divinely appointed time came to uproot the Canaanite inhabitants of the Promised Land. G 15. 13-21. J 25. 8-11. Da 2. 21. 7. 12. See appointed times of the nations. Seat. See judgment seat. See best ba. 1. One of the 6 sons of Cush. Ge 10. 7, 8. 1 Ch 1. 9, 10. 2. A land of Africa. At Isaiah 43. 3 Seba is linked with Egypt and Ethiopia. Cush, in being given as a ransom in place of Jacob. In a similar listing, Isaiah 45. 14 has Sabines in place of Seba, indicating that the people of Seba were called Sabines. These verses suggest that Seba bordered on or was included in Ethiopia. This is supported by Josephus, who says that Saba applied to the city of Merodayarsisi on the Nile and to the large section Isle of Merodayarsisi between the Nile, Blue Nile, and Atbara rivers. Jewish Antiquities, 2, 249x, 2 The reference to these Sabines as tall men is 45. 14 is borne out by Herodotus 3, 20, who speaks of the Ethiopians as the tallest and fairest of all men. See Cush numbers 1 and 2. Merodayarsisi was long an important trading place. Among the distant places mentioned in Psalm 72 in describing the dominion and influence of the one Jehovah would appoint as king, Seba and Sheba are named as places whose kings would present a gift. PS 72. 10. Joe 3. 8. Sabam. Apparently an alternate name for Sibma. New 32. 3, 38. See Sibma. Sekakis middle dot kaka from a root meaning cover. Screen over. A city of Judah in the wilderness. Joes 15. 20, 61 Sekaka is often identified with Kabades Samra, on a hill about 6 kilometers 3.5 MW of the northern part of the Dead Sea. This is in the heart of El-Baki Abikali Regania, a barren plateau, in the northern section of the Judean wilderness. Secret. See Sacred Secret. Secretary. Usually an appointed official skilled at writing and keeping records. The Hebrew word for can also be rendered scribe and copyist. At least at times in Israel there was a trusted court official of high rank called the secretary of the king or the secretary. 2 Ch 24. 11. 2 Chi 19. 2 He was not simply a scribe who was employed in making documents, nor was he merely a copyist of the law. JG 5. 14. NE 13. 13. Compare 2 to 8. 15-18. 20. 23-26. See copyist. Scribe. On occasion the secretary of the king Otextoi acute Miritra Longo, sect 886 those used at one time in ancient Egypt. The Egyptian scribe kit was a long, narrow case made out of wood and had a compartment or slots for reed pens. On the outer face, near the top, it had at least one recess for a small cake of dried ink. The scribe could prepare to write by applying the moistened end of his pen to the ink. Inscriptions show that Syrian scribes used a similar scribble kit. Sect. The Greek word sis, from which comes the English word heresy thus translated means choice. 22. 18. Elect sex or that which is chosen, hence a body of men separating themselves from others,